to a whole brand new series. We're calling this A Dose of Dr. Debi. I'm Dr. Debi Silber, and what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you every Friday tips, tools, strategies, solutions to help you heal physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually from the trauma of betrayal from a family member, partner, friend, coworker, self. Now you may be saying, why am I sharing this? And how am I an expert in this? Well, I'll tell you, nobody studies betrayal that I know of because they just like the topic. You kind of need to. And that was the case with me. This is my 30th year in business. And, I've been a health mindset, personal development speaker, author, mentor, coach for years. And it was only because of my own betrayals, first from my family, and then years later from my husband, that everything changed. And I looked at those two experiences. And first of all, if you're watching this, if you've been betrayed by someone close to you, you know how painful it is. I mean, these were the people who gave you a sense of safety and security. So when this is the person, these are the people to shatter that sense of safety and security. It's devastating. And that was the case with me. So when it came to the betrayal of my husband, here I was. I got him out of the house and I was like, okay, I have 4 kids, 6 dogs, a thriving business. What am I going to do? And I looked at those two experiences and I said, what's common to those two experiences? And I realized I never took my own needs seriously and boundaries were always getting crossed. And I said, you know what? Now it's my turn and I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but it's time. And I enrolled in a PhD program in transpersonal psychology, the psychology of transformation and human potential, because I was changing. I didn't quite understand it. He was on his own, wasn't ready to look at that, but I was. And so I was so interested in this type of study. I was so desperate to understand, how does the mind work? Why do people do these things? And most importantly, how can I heal from this? And while I was there, I did a study. I studied betrayal. What holds us back? What helps us heal? And what happens to us physically, mentally, and emotionally when the people closest to us lie, cheat, and deceive? Well, I had no idea at the time, but that study led to 3 groundbreaking discoveries. And I'm going to go over some, them just briefly. And in the coming episodes, I'll dive into them much deeper and along with solutions and tips and strategies to heal. But just to give you an overview. So the first discovery was, originally I was studying something called post-traumatic growth, betrayal and post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth is, if you can imagine, kind of an upside of trauma. How that trauma, regardless of what it is, death of a loved one, disease, natural disaster, how it leaves you with a new insight, perspective, awareness that you didn't have beforehand. Like maybe you realize when you lose someone you love, life is short, or the little things matter, things like that. And I was like, well, I've been through death of a loved one and I've been through disease, but this is different. Betrayal is different. So I didn't want to assume. So I asked all my study participants and I said, if you've been through other traumas besides betrayal, does it feel different for you? Hands down, unanimously, they said, oh my gosh, it's so different. And here's why. When let's say you lose a loved one, you grieve, you're sad, you mourn the loss, life will never be the same, but you don't necessarily take it personally. Betrayal feels personal. It feels so intentional, so we take it so personally. So the whole self has to be rebuilt. Belonging, confidence, worthiness, trust, rejection, abandonment. These are huge topics that all have to be rebuilt. We have to rebuild the self. So this type of healing needed its own name. So I coined a new term, post-betrayal transformation, and that is the complete and total rebuild of you after a traumatic experience with betrayal. So that was the first discovery. The second one was, while we can stay stuck for years, decades, a lifetime, and so many of us do, if we're going to fully heal, not just heal, and I'll talk about how to know when we're fully healed in another episode. If we are to fully heal, we will move through 5 proven predictable stages. Now, what's even more exciting about that is now we know what happens at every stage, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and we know what it takes to move from one stage to the next. Now, why is that good? Because that means healing is predictable. That means if you know what stage you're in a stage 2, you're in a stage 3, whatever the stage, is we know what you need to do to move from that one stage to the next. So there's a roadmap now that we never had. Now it's predictable. That was the second discovery. The third discovery was that there's actually this collection of symptoms, physical, mental, and emotional, so common to betrayal, it's now known as post-betrayal syndrome. So we actually have a quiz on our site, the PBT, as in post-betrayal transformation, thepbtinstitute.com/quiz. And we have this quiz. It's the post-betrayal syndrome quiz. And you take that to see to what extent you're still struggling. Now, here's what's so interesting about it. We've had easily at the time of this recording, over 18,000 people take the post-betrayal syndrome quiz. And you know how you may have heard time heals all wounds? I have the proof that's not true, because there's a question that reads, is there anything else you'd like to share? And people write things like, my betrayal happened 40 years ago and I could still feel the pain. My betrayal happened 35 years ago. I'm unwilling to trust again. My betrayal happened 10 years ago. I feel gutted. So we know that when it comes to betrayal, it does not, that whole time heals all wounds, not when it comes to betrayal. With betrayal, we heal when we face it, feel it, heal it. I'm going to teach you how to do that in upcoming episodes. Also, I want to leave you with this for this episode. With betrayal, it follows you around like a shadow until and unless you take the time to actually heal it. But I want to give you an example of how to know if you have an unhealed betrayal, because you may be thinking, oh my gosh, that happened years ago. Doesn't matter. I'll show you how it's showing up. The first way is because it shows up in your health, your work, your relationships. So let's take relationships. We see it in one of two ways. The first way is you have repeat betrayals. And you go from boss to boss to boss, or coworker to coworker to coworker, friend to friend to friend, partner, partner, partner. And you're like, what the heck? The faces are changing, but it's the same thing. Is it me? Yes, it is. There's a profound lesson you need to learn. I'm not saying you caused the betrayal. I'm saying these people are coming into your world to give you an opportunity for you to learn that boundaries are constantly getting crossed, or to finally show you you're lovable, worthy, deserving, whatever the lesson is for you. And you will keep finding opportunities to learn those lessons until you do. When you do, they don't need to keep repeating itself. So if you have a repeat betrayal, that's how we know it's an unhealed betrayal. That's the first way. The second way is we will see it in people who say, and maybe this is you put that big wall up, been there, done that. I'm not letting anybody get close to me again. And we think it's coming from a place of strength. No, it's coming from a place of fear. That's an unhealed betrayal. We see it in health, where people go to the most incredible doctors, healers, coaches, therapists to manage a stress-related symptom, illness, condition, disease. At the root of all that stress, an unhealed betrayal. And we see it at work too, in so many ways. Here are just two, where you want to ask for that raise or promotion. You deserve it, but your confidence was shattered. See, in the betrayal, so you don't have the confidence to ask, and you're bitter and resentful instead. And that's the energy you're bringing to work with you every day. Or you want to be that team player, that collaborative partner, but the person you trusted the most proved untrustworthy. How can you trust that boss, that coworker, that JV partner, that collaborative person who wants to work with you? You see, it shows up everywhere. Now, you may be thinking, oh, I can never heal from this. It's way too big. Yes, you can. You can heal from all of it. I'm living proof, and so are the people within the PBT Institute. Now, here's the thing, though. Rebuilding is always a choice. Whether you rebuild yourself and move on, that's what I did with my family. It wasn't an option to rebuild with them. And we teach you how to do this in the community, how to know if it's safe in your best interest to heal and rebuild with that person, how to know if it's safe and in your best interest just to heal and move on. Or if the situation lends itself, if you're willing, if you want to, you may have the opportunity, if you choose, to rebuild something entirely new with the person who hurt you. Well, that's what I did with my husband. So as two completely transformed people, not long ago, We married each other again. New rings, new vows, new dress, and this time our 4 kids is our bridal party. So lots of healing, lots to learn, lots I am so excited to share with you. So just be on the lookout for these Friday doses of Dr. Debi. They're coming at you with healing tips, tools, and solutions. What I know for sure is that even if you have to say it 1,000,000 times to yourself, it's worth it. Ready? Even though it happened to you, it's not about you. It's not about you. The part that's about you, though, is and betrayal lends itself to being the perfect opportunity for transformation. I'll be talking about that so much more, but there's no reason why you've been through the hardest part already. So if you're going to be going through the hardest part, why not give yourself the opportunity to create the strongest, most healthy, healed, whole version of you possible? It's entirely possible. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So check back next time, and I'll see you soon. Bye.